I hereby declare.
I almost started to cry a little bit. It was very exciting because it's like 17 people becoming citizens of the United States, so I thought it was really cool.
One of the things I heard a lot from the kids was, it feels like home, and I love that. And I want them to feel comfortable like that. That's what gets them to take chances.
All right, boys and girls, today we're going to be working on lesson 9.4.
The whole point of having me on film and not pulling it from a teacher in wherever is that it's how I speak, it's how I act, it's how I deliver instruction in the classroom.
What's something that you remember you heard from the video last night?
Like if you already know one angle, if you try to find the other one, you have to subtract.
It's been 3 years, and the first year we had 41 students sign up. The second year we had 65 students sign up, and this year we had 86 students sign up. So it just proves that they're willing to make friends and include everybody.
We're making hearts.
Yeah. Great job. Hi, and welcome to a new season of Classroom Close-Up New Jersey. I'm Sean Spiller, and I'll be your host as we share innovation and inspiration in our public schools across our state. Every week, we'll focus on meaningful lessons and imaginative projects. We'll chat with teachers and school staff about how to create rich learning environments. And we'll hear from students, because of course, they're the reason my fellow educators and I come to work every day, to prepare a new generation of young people on the journey toward adulthood by providing the tools they'll need to be proud, productive citizens. So we begin this episode with a citizenship theme, an up-close and personal view of social studies in action.
Good morning. I am Julio Feldman, principal of this wonderful school.
School assemblies are often fun and informative.
As part of our fourth grade curriculum, students learn about immigration.
But this one is actually more of an event. These fourth graders are about to witness something very special.
So what's it take to become a naturalized United States citizen? The first thing is probably the hardest you had to get here. Right?
This is Keith Dorr, a regional supervisor with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services.
6 years ago, my daughter was actually in this school. She was in Miss Nichols' classroom, and during a parent-teacher conference, Miss Nichols said, "Would you mind coming to the class and talking to the students?" And I said, "Absolutely, I would love to do that." I said, "I'll give you one better if you want. Talk to the principal. Maybe we can even do a ceremony here at the school."
I was inspired by him. He shows so much enthusiasm, and he mentioned that sometimes they take the ceremonies out of the office, and he would always love to do one in a school, and I said, well, let's do it.
So fourth grade teachers Laura Nichols and Andrew Battle have incorporated this event into their curriculum for the past 6 years.
So when you hear your country of origin, can you please stand? China, Egypt, India, Philippines, Poland, Russia, and the United Kingdom.
These 17 people from around the globe are about to become U.S. citizens.
Anytime that you can bring something from the real world that you've been learning about into the classroom or into the school, I think it's 10 times more powerful than me standing up there talking about it or even just showing a video about it.
One last thing that stands in front of you in United States citizenship, and that is swearing your allegiance to this country and this country's Constitution. And right now,
This is a part of our history. We learn about it, and now we can actually witness it.
I hereby declare. On oath.
I almost started to cry a little bit. It was very exciting.
All allegiance. And fidelity. To any foreign prince.
You'll be like from another country. Now you're kind of like a part of this country.
The Constitution and laws of the United States of America.
U.S. citizens get to practice whatever religion they want freely.
Without any mental reservation.
It enriches my job a lot. It helps me feel like I'm actually giving something of importance to the kids.
and I take this obligation freely.
They will never forget today. That's the emotional part for me.
So help me God. Congratulations, you're all officially citizens of the United States.
Freedom is here, opportunities is here, equality is here. It's my dream.
We would like to devote our hard work and passion towards the country.
I started to cry actually. It was a very, very emotional, very touching moment because you realize that something very serious happened right now.
And after 54 years, Max Reinbold.
When you're standing up on the stage and you're looking at the new citizens, and when you see them, and a couple of them, this was a big, big deal, more than we know. But when you see that emotion in their face, I get a little emotional, and I have to then hold my bearing because I'm doing the ceremony, but it's definitely an emotional thing.
Why is it necessary or important to have an actual naturalization ceremony, which is what you saw this morning? So today in class, we're going to have the children reflect on some higher level questions, get them thinking on a deeper level about what they're witnessing in the ceremony, what they've learned so far, and have them respond to one another.
And because people are different, that's what makes a good country.
How might the new citizens have been feeling today? Why would they be feeling these emotions?
I put excited because they took time to do this and they accomplished these goals. It's like 17 people becoming citizens of the United States, and they took so much time out of their lives becoming citizens. So I thought it was really cool.
They worked so hard for this moment, and I wouldn't want it just to be in like a little small room. I'd want it to be a big like assembly of people instead of...
It was August 5th, 1970, that I became a naturalized citizen at the age of 20. And watching these people become American citizens, it brings me back to my journey and where I am today, and happy to be here.
10 years from now, what do you want to remember about the day you saw a naturalization ceremony in 4th grade?
Like, it's like a bridge, and how it's not the end, but it's the beginning.
When we came back in the classroom, I said, what was most memorable to you? And some of the students said, I noticed that when they got their American flag, they turned around and they all had smiles on. I thought that was really neat, that they saw how important and how special it was to the new citizens, you know, that they were so happy to become citizens.
Witnessing it in person, I think, brings it to a new level when you see their faces. Whereas if you were just looking at names, wonderful, it's a great experience, but to see it happening and to see their emotional response, they stand up and they wave the flag and they're smiling, it's a moment to see.
The national conversation about immigration is ongoing. Before you know it, those 4th graders will be old enough to vote. So now is the time to consider questions like, what does the American dream mean to you? For many people these days, the American dream is less about achieving great wealth and more about freedom to spend time with family, to choose where to live, and even where to sit, because seats matter.
Last fall, Melissa Regenthal unveiled her new classroom, one with fewer desks, but plenty of seats.
It was so much fun to watch them walk through the door on the first day of school, you know, because they kind of did a double take. They were like, what happened to our room? There's couches in here, there's, you know, and you can hear the kids like talking about it. It was a very interesting first couple of days, for sure, but it was exciting.
For me, the couch is really comfortable. I don't have to worry about being uncomfortable, and sometimes it's distracting me and others when I'm moving around. So if I'm not comfortable on a chair, I'm always moving my chair around or just placing my desk in a way I'm able to look or able to be comfortable.
Regenthal was inspired by an article she read about non-traditional seating in the workplace.
It just made me start to think about how I do my work, you know, later at night at home when it's quiet or after school. And I always tend to, you know, go to the couch and sit and do my grading, my lesson planning. I never go and sit at my dining room table or at a desk or in a hard chair. And it made me start to think about how the students were coming in every day and sitting on these hard chairs and at these hard desks. And I started to research a little bit online about yoga balls being used in classrooms. And from there, it just snowballed.
I like the yoga ball because you can still move around while doing your work.
I really like sitting on the couch. I feel that it's very comfortable. It helps me work a little bit better.
I started finding a lot of information about movement while learning and how it increases the oxygen to the brain, how it helps with posture, which helps open up the lungs and helps you take deeper breaths in. And I sent all of this information to my principal in a presentation, and we discussed it, and he was so supportive. But of course, you know, we didn't have money, so it was really up to me to kind of do more of a grassroots type of approach to it.
The grassroots approach involved donations from family, friends, and neighbors.
One of my neighbors donated a whole bunch of yoga mats and yoga balls. I had family members that donated money so I could go and get some lap desks and things like that. I also went online and joined an online garage sale site, and I found a lot of really great items. One gentleman bought a brand new sectional couch, and when he got it home, he realized it was too big for the space, so he was giving away the middle section of it. That was in plastic, brand new.
Piece by piece, the new furniture made its way to the classroom, where it's having a positive effect on the learning environment.
What I've seen from my students has been so eye-opening. The benefits, the engaging conversations that the students have during small group instruction because they're more comfortable and they're closer together and they're in this environment where they feel like they can share with one another has really been amazing.
In case you were wondering, students get to choose where they want to sit.
It depends on the students and what they like. If they want to sit on the couch, and if they have to have self-control. If they're not going to get tired on the couch, they can pick the couch. If they know they're going to get tired, they want to sit on the desk.
I like the beanbag because if you're sitting in a desk, you're uncomfortable most of the time. So I feel like comfortable seating, it allows students to be more comfortable with school and learning.
I like to call it the inward chair. I like this because I usually like to sit in this position and it's easier for me to work.
You know, I like to give them the choice on a daily basis because, you know, one day they might come in and they might be tired. And they might say, you know what, sitting on that couch is not going to be conducive to me learning today, so the yoga ball is for me. To create a policy banning
The new seating also helps students with individual needs.
My resource room students benefit because most of their issues are focusing in class in a large setting. So when I pull them out to my small room, their focus is okay because they're in a small group, there's not that much going on in the room. But when I have to push into the regular ed classroom, there's a lot more going on. So by having alternative seating, they can do their work while moving.
I have had students with ADHD in the classroom where we've modified and made accommodations for them with the seating. Maybe they had a stress ball, maybe they had the bands. It tends to make them self-conscious. So the fact that everybody's doing it, they feel like they fit right in because everybody's doing it. And what's good for special needs students is really best practices, I think, for all students.
Regenthal hopes to inspire more educators to rethink what classrooms can look and feel like.
You know, I'm hoping to get the word out and break that traditional mindset of this is how education needs to be. We individualize education when it comes to lesson planning. And we're making sure that we're hitting all of Bloom's taxonomy and all the different types of learners, but we haven't really caught up when it comes to the physical environment yet, I think, in education. And I think that that's an important part of this puzzle. This should be a place where they want to come.
When we come back, students are flipping over math right after this.
I want my students to first of all know that they're important to me, and I think always having that individual connection with your students is utmost important because until they trust you and they connect with you, you're not going to get anything done. The important takeaway that I'd like them to have is just confidence. The age group that I'm working with, the students need to know that it's okay to take risks, it's okay to fail because that's how we ultimately learn and improve ourselves. And this is the time period in their lives that they should be taking those risks so that they can figure out what will work for them in life and how they can create their own paths to be successful.
You're watching Classroom Close-Up!
Good morning, night you watched lesson 9.4, and it was on understanding and measuring angles.
The children watch a video that I film the night before to kind of expose them to the concepts that we're going to be working with the next day in class.
What's something that you remember you heard from the video last night?
If you already know one angle, if you try to find the other one, you have to subtract.
There's a lot of elements to the flipped classroom in order for it to work smoothly. The filming alone takes a great deal of time because the way that I do it is that I use my textbook content, so I go onto their site and I kind of cut and paste into a smart notebook file that allows it to be interactive. And then once that file's created, then I need to find time to get into the classroom to actually film it. So filming can take, depending on how many takes I need to articulate my concept to my liking, it takes some time.
At this time, boys and girls, you've been flipped. We'll see you tomorrow.
One of the features of doing a flipped model that I really welcome is that it brings me into the children's homes. That helps the parents see exactly how we're learning math as 5th graders.
After you finish the video, what did you then do? Aditya?
Apply what you learned to the work.
Okay.
It makes it very much easier for us to explain it to them at home if you're doing it, and they always have the option of coming back to their teacher and asking. So I think the transparency also is a big advantage in the flipped classroom.
This has been going on for several years here. Our 2 teachers have been pioneering the efforts and really taking it and modifying and adjusting it year after year, but they've seen quite success with it.
You will need your protractor for this activity.
My oldest daughter was in the first year that Mrs. Vaquero flipped her classroom, and so we really used the videos a lot that year. And then now this is my second child going through it, so we've really loved it since she started this process.
With these videos, I found them amazing because it's her own teacher saying exactly the lesson, and she's following it, she's stopping it, she's taking notes, she's rewinding it, so it's great.
If you don't understand what the lesson is about, then you could replay the video, and you can't replay what your teacher says in real life. You don't have a play button on your teacher. You have that on the computer.
The whole point of having me on film and not pulling it from a teacher in wherever, having their teacher in their home with them, is that it is me. It's how I speak, it's how I act, it's how I deliver instruction in the classroom.
Okay, so we're going to be reinforcing our skills from today that we watched last night, along with what we've been doing using the protractor to draw.
Miss Mitchell records the video, and she does it just as if we were actually in the classroom. So it's like classroom at home. We do our homework, and then we rate ourselves 1 to 4, seeing how good we did.
1 is when you don't get the subject at all. 2 is when you're like, I don't get it, I really need help. 3 is like, I understand it, but I think I need a little bit of help. 4 is like, I'm like really good with it. I understand the topic.
Did anything in going over this, did it change your rating at all? Did it make it stronger if it was lower?
It does put a little bit of responsibility and ownership on them to be cognizant of their own learning.
I had to replay the video because I did forget the steps, but only because I wasn't sure if I had to like do every single part of it since it was a rectangle or just...
I can differentiate and really meet their needs instead of kind of giving it to everyone when some children already understand it.
Last night, this tripped up a few of us. Some angles were vertical.
Once the children watch the video, apply their understanding, and evaluate their understanding, they come to me in the morning with the fruits of their labor. And I then look at that and I'm able to group the children and differentiate the instructions so I can give each grouping what they need.
So if you're staying up front with me, where are you in your learning? Are you at the surface? Are you deeper? Or are you at the transfer level? Where are you, Shubiksha?
The flipped classroom by no means is easier than the traditional teaching model because I am, at my choosing, on call after the school day ends.
Tonight you're going to watch a video that is going to kind of review all the skills that we learned.
When they go home, whenever that is that they start it, I'm connected to them. If they have questions about the material, they'll ask me. And since this is my idea, what I chose to do for them, I feel it's my responsibility to respond to them.
It really takes a lot of dedication on the part of the teacher in order to make the flipped classroom work. And ultimately, I think it's really beneficial to the students.
Now she's more confident going to the class, discussing ideas, because before, if she did not get the subject during class, she would be intimidated or shy, not raising her, her hand and asking question, and she just be quiet the entire class. But now she knows the topic, she knows the subject, and she's better prepared.
I have seen a great deal of improvement in my students, not just mathematically, with their own personal confidence in the area of math. To change a dislike for math to really feeling that this is something that they can overcome and accomplish and actually be good at and enjoy, isn't that why we're here? That's because of the flipped classroom.
I love flipped.
Question number 1. In which book does someone say, once I sit, it's hard to get moving again?
I think we'll do really good because every book got read twice. So that gives us a higher chance of winning.
So bump the fence into 1 1/16. So you're cutting it a little closer.
Mr. Friedman comes around with, hey, what does everyone want to build this year?
He comes in and I want to do this double neck guitar. So I let them kind of design their own and get creative.
You're watching Classroom Close-Up.
Like most good friends, Sarah and Nick enjoy doing things together.
Nick, what do we make?
A Valentine's.
Yeah, we're gonna sell them in our school store.
They also like to joke around a lot.
Oh, right.
No, really, this is the Best Buddies program at Ocean City High School. It's just before Valentine's Day, and all the items they're making are sure to sell like hotcakes in the school store because
people that forget that it's Valentine's Day, they have a girlfriend, they need to get something fast.
What we're going to do today is some groups are going to make the candy people to sell in the school store. Other groups are going to make the hearts, and then you're going to just put little slits in the hearts and put the lollipop through.
Good job. Beautiful.
And then some people will make the lace hearts.
Best Buddies is a win-win situation because you have the peer buddies are the regular education students, and you have the buddies, which are students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And they're paired to make friendships. And the regular ed students realize after being with the IDD students that there's really no big difference, that they can see beyond whatever would have separated them and to see they're just like everybody else.
We're making hearts.
Yeah. Me too.
Membership in this Best Buddies Club requires students to get together for 2 activities a month and to contact their buddies at least once a week, but usually it's more.
We're always in constant communication no matter what. We also text each other all the time.
It's been 3 years, and the first year we had 41 students sign up. The second year we had 65 students sign up, and this year we had 86 students sign up. So it just proves what kind of student body we have here, that they're willing to make friends and include everybody.
We are Best Buddies.
Best Buddies provides opportunities for friendship, leadership development, and jobs for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Best Buddies started in 1989 by Anthony Kennedy Shriver, who is Eunice Kennedy Shriver's son, and she was involved in Special Olympics. He was in Georgetown, so he started it in the college. And from that, it just went on to high schools, and even some middle schools have Best Buddies clubs. And we are the only one in South Jersey in this area.
Chocolate chip granola bar.
What's that?
Nick's buddy, Sarah, is president of the Best Buddies Club.
Just this year, me and Nick have been paired up to be best buddies, but we've known each other since middle school. My brother is also in the special ed classroom, so him and Nick went to school together. So when I was in 8th grade, I went in their classroom every day before lunch. Nick, this is our Best Buddies t-shirt, right?
Of course it is.
I wanted to be the president because I feel like I have experience with special ed children. So I figured I could really help the kids that were really excited about meeting them and being friends with the special ed class.
Today, Ryan and Destiny are scheduled to work in the school store. And right afterwards, it's the lunch period, which is typically when the Best Buddies Club members meet, sometimes to work on different projects.
As a parent, any parent would know that they would want their child to have the best that they can have. I would want them to have as many friends as they could, and this is a way to do that. And as a teacher, I just think it's beautiful. Everything goes away. All the noise from the outside goes away, and they just look at this person as a person. You're just like me. And I think that's the most important thing.
It feels good.
That was awesome to be a part of this. I really love being a part of Best Buddies.
Yeah.
And seeing Ren every day. I love it.
Yeah, I just loved it.
Currently, there are a number of Best Buddies chapters in the state, but the Ocean City chapter is the only one in South Jersey. The goal is to create a permanent New Jersey office. So we've put a link on our website for more information on how you can help make that happen and to search our video library. Next time, we'll focus on a community school in Camden that runs a clinic for pets. That and more inspiring stories from our public schools. Until then, for Classroom Close-Up New Jersey, I'm Sean Spiller. See you soon.
Congratulations, you're all officially citizens